right here, this first play, bang. I will put this play with any play ever written. And I think, Jessica was saying how she didn't think I could be as good as O'Neill. This play is a better play than O'Neill's two best plays, which I think number one is Iceman Cometh, and number two is Long Day's Journey into Night. Iceman Cometh and Long Day's Journey, they don't have the humor, and humor adds a bit of complexity. Humor is like a spice that it can add complexity, especially to drama. And this is some. Well, go ahead.
By that token, you're claiming that this is probably the best play ever written.
Well, I mean, if you look at, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I think my second.
I have not read the second play, so I can't.
Yeah, I think the second.
I would put it above anything O'Neill wrote and anything Williams wrote, and I consider them probably the two best playwrights.
Well, I think the second play is different. It's a comedy. It's a flat. It's almost. I wouldn't say it's a flat out comedy. It's 85% comedy, but that 85% comedy makes the 15% of drama all the more heightened. And then that's not to say that Stanley Kowalski or Willie Loman don't reach high drama. They do. But I had Miller and Williams tempered their plays, and Williams is another good example of a guy who, being a homosexual, it made no difference in his plays. Stanley Kowalski, that was written by a homosexual, means nothing. But I wonder if there had been a few moments of humor between Stanley and his wife, the name that slips me, or between Willie Loman and his sons. If there had been a few other Axels there, what would it be? Because, you know, like I said, there's the Danny Megan Axel, there's the Megan Valerie Axel, there's the Valerie Axel with the lover. There's the Axel. In this play, for example, one of, I think, the most interesting aspects of it is right in the apex of the play, the funeral. We get a series of characters that give their eulogies, including the pastor. But then there's one character who I give Marina Morales. We find out that we're told in the beginning of the play, in the Dramatis Personae, that she was a nurse or something. She worked at a hospice. She says she works at a hospice. She gets this enormous soliloquy where she's quoting from, I forget which work she's quoting from, but she's quoting from another work. And that's the only thing. We don't hear anything before this enormous soliloquy. She says nothing after this enormous soliloquy. And I don't know of any play that I've read, and I've probably read in the English language between 800 and 1,000 plays. I've read most of Williams. I've read all of Shakespeare. I've read all of Ben Jonson. And any big name, I've read most. I've read most of August Wilson's 10-decade plays. So I probably read, you know, maybe 500 to 1,000. Maybe not 800, but maybe 500 to 800, something like that. But no, I've read hundreds of plays. I don't remember any play I've ever read where a character who has said nothing before and says nothing afterward gets such an enormous soliloquy that is so relevant to the play. And in a sense, she's almost dead dramatically in the center. She's almost like an Axel unto herself. Where does this woman come from? What relation does she have to the dead man? And what does that impact, if anything, on the rest of the play? But it's these little things that you throw in. It's taking the Woody Allen thing from Stardust Memory and putting Goya against a background, as I do in this play I'm writing. That's interesting. It's taking a Vivaldi thing, and instead of making a musical play, a musical, taking music and using it in dramatic stuff, using it sometimes diegetically, I might use within the universe of the play, sometimes extra diegetically, as I'm going to do with Vivaldi.